Xbox and the future of gaming. Be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well, and we'll be diving into some interesting debriefing information that I was provided during a special showcase ahead of the Xbox Games Showcase event. So this was more focused on the business side of things and more where Xbox is headed over the next 20 years. A lot of it was discussions on, hey, what have we done to get to this point and where are we headed? So I sat there and I watched through this video that went on about things, and I've kind of condensed it and hopefully highlighted some interesting information for you to more easily digest and also learn about. So the main things we're going to be talking about today include the likes of Activision Blizzard, that acquisition, the future of Xbox cloud gaming, where the Xbox ecosystem is headed going into the future, and some other ways that you're going to be able to interact with Xbox going forward. And we have this really exciting infographic here that we'll be switching different things throughout for. So the first big topic thing, and you'll be able to skip to the different topics if you want to jump into a specific thing. But first off, we've got Xbox and Samsung. You are now going to be able to, well, directly stream games to your TV, starting with Samsung 2022 TVs and later, going into the future. You will be able to just have an Xbox app. You will just stream your games through. You'll be able to use a wide range of controllers, including regular Xbox controllers, the PlayStation DualSense, the PlayStation DualShock. There will be support for a number of different controller options, and you literally, like I've been saying for a number of years now, the Xbox is now just an app on your TV. And I would imagine they'll probably be working to make this available on more platforms in the future, but Samsung is their big TV partner, so it makes sense that this is where things would start. And this will be a really cool service to check out, and this should be available by the end of 2022. So just gonna go into my little info bit here. So yeah, seamless experience. It's simple. Starting on June 30th, launch the app from Samsung's new gaming hub, connect your favorite controller, log into Game Pass Ultimate, and you can start playing. So it really is that easy. You just literally jump in and you could just start playing games without having anything else. It's crazy. You just need a controller and you're good to go. And this is the UI that they're going to be using for the TVs. And then there's also the element of cloud gaming beta is going to launch in Argentina and New Zealand on June 9th, so that's an expansion for territories. And then on top of that, you are supposed to have specific different connections to be able to use, say, Bluetooth and whatnot in order to connect with your TV experience, and that will allow you to basically, again, just play Xbox games without having the need for a console or hardware. It's right into the TV, which is, I think, utterly fascinating. So they're also going to be bringing any game that you own to Xbox Cloud Gaming. So this is a future thing, and I think I have a slideshow later on that kind of shows this off, but we'll just show the ecosystem of Xbox here. So the idea is that you're going to be able to take any game that you own, as long as it's cloud supported, and I believe they'll be adding more games to be cloud supported. So games that aren't on Game Pass but you own digitally, you'll be able to take across your gaming experiences, and I think that is a great next step. I mean, we kind of predicted that that's where things were going. So let's say I own, I don't know, I've got Turok up on my Xbox right now. I own it digitally. It's cloud supported. I could just stream that even though it's not on Game Pass. And you need Game Pass Ultimate to be able to do this at the current point in time. That may change later, but they haven't mentioned anything specifically about that experience. So we're gonna talk more about cloud gaming in a little bit here. But this is the ecosystem they're working towards. Everything's connected by Game Pass Ultimate. You've got your consoles, Series X, Series S. You've got your cloud streaming setups, your TVs, your PCs. Gaming is, very well rounded now from Xbox and Microsoft. They're trying to make it very available. They're literally baking, I guess you would say, Xbox Game Pass and cloud gaming right into Windows. Like Windows 11 is going to have a big focus on that sort of thing, which is really, really quite exciting. That brings me to our next slide here. So Xbox Cloud Gaming is going to be baked right into Microsoft Edge so that it's more accessible for people with Windows devices. Oh yeah, okay. Just to go back to the TVs, compatible with Bluetooth headset support for game audio and chat. And it will be compatible with popular Bluetooth controllers, which we mentioned, stream hundreds of games, right through the cloud gaming on the TV, which is pretty exciting. So again, they're going to have the cloud gaming baked right into your kind of experiences, right into Edge, right into Windows more directly, it sounds like as well, is a big focus that they're doing there. They're trying to make the cloud gaming more accessible to like literally any platform that you can dive into. Sorry, there's so much information here. So, new Edge improvements, personalized gaming homepage, game guides, live streams, game highlights, tournaments, upcoming and newly released games, clarity boost, built-in clarity boost to improve the visual picture quality of your cloud-based games menu, easy access to popular free games, and efficiency mode, so that gaming performance on Windows 10 and 11 keeps running smoothly. Windows 11 itself, gaming-wise, these kind of just quick topics. They're going to have a new HDR calibration system, a Game Pass widget, a controller game bar so you can launch things using your controller more easily on Windows 11, and optimization for windowed games to make them run better, featuring support of auto HDR, variable refresh rate, VRR, and other things are being tested. Quickly, I want to mention that the Xbox Cloud Gaming, not Xbox Cloud Gaming, sorry, the Xbox Design Lab, which we thought was going to maybe kind of say, hey, there's a new controller coming. Not the case. It's just getting new colors and stuff. I wanted to throw that out there. And new regions, 11 new countries: Australia, New Zealand, Japan, Korea, Singapore, Czech Republic, Greece, Hungary, Norway, Slovakia, Switzerland, and then Taiwan will be added over the summer of 2022. So that's this summer, and Xbox Design Lab will be available. So they're going to have new pastel colors: soft pink, soft orange, soft green, soft purple, as well as new camo top cases with matching side caps, mineral camo, Arctic camo, forest camo, sandglow camo, and blaze camo. So, new options there. I thought it was a new controller, just new colors. How exciting. So, that's the detail there. Now we're going on to more cloud info. So the big one to mention is Project Moorcroft at the top there. So Project Moorcroft is a program where they are going to kind of emulate the E3 and or game conference type showcase, but for everyone. So what Microsoft's doing is essentially creating cloud streamed or Game Pass oriented demos and or level previews of games. So Microsoft will financially support companies interested in doing that. They're going to compensate them for creating a demo for people to check out their games early. So it's kind of being like, hey, the Halo game coming out down the road, they're going to cut out a level of that and make it available for people to try out and play like you would a demo. So it's supposed to like emulate the feeling of like the E3 showcases and stuff, but for regular folks, and demos to see if you like a game, and for developers to get feedback on games using this. So it's kind of a way to boost the Game Pass library a little bit further with smaller little showcases. So that's one part of it. The second part, the Cloud Facts. Over 10 million players have played via cloud gaming. They've partnered with Epic for Fortnite, so Fortnite's just available to stream through cloud gaming. So that's how they're getting Fortnite on iOS devices and stuff, getting around Apple's, big chunk that they're taking of, revenue and everything like that. They're using the cloud gaming through the browser. 20% of players that are using the Fortnite system, are new to the Xbox ecosystem, and they've had millions of players try out Fortnite through the cloud gaming. So it's definitely something that is successful. They're going to increase the server capacity for Series X's to 125% to meet the global demand. And they've mentioned over 350 enabled cloud games. They're going to add more. Cloud controls are a big deal. Apparently, the vast majority, or a lot of people that do the cloud gaming, love the cloud controls. I mean, it makes sense that you would want to use touch controls if you're on your phone or anything like that. So they're going to work on adding more and more games with the mobile touch kind of support, which makes perfect sense. So that's kind of that slide right there. I know it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it gives you some context and info. This is no, not that one. The Gaming for All initiative is a quick thing I want to talk about. So basically, during this really long video that I watched that gave me all of this context information, Phil Spencer came out and talked about accessibility and their focus. And don't worry, this all leads into Activision Blizzard stuff. But they want gaming to be for everyone. There's more than 3 billion people playing video games around the world right now, and it's estimated to grow to 4.5 billion by 2030. So gaming is for everyone. One big mention, because there's a lot of talk about inclusion, being inclusive, accessibility, and how Microsoft's focusing on that. And then they mentioned they acquired 2 hats, so that's some of the moderation things that they've been doing. Like, in some messages you'll see on Xbox where it's like, this may be offensive. That's kind of the technology that they're working towards. And they're working on creating more inclusive type or monitoring options, more active or ahead of a situation monitoring options. So that's something they're working about. Seriously, it was like a 15-minute chat with Phil Spencer about literally this specific detail. So that's what they're working towards. It's a big focus there for gaming. So this really was a lot of cloud, improving cloud, making cloud more available. And like I said, they were thinking about the 20 years that have gone by for Xbox because the 20th anniversary was last year. And now they're thinking about the next 20 years and where things are going. So we'll have some quotes too in a sec here. But I just wanted to really mention that those were some of the core pillars of kind of the chat today. So now we talk about the Activision Blizzard thing. So this is obviously a big one for a lot of people, is the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. I have a couple slides that talk about this. So the biggest thing that I noticed for the Activision Blizzard stuff is this is something they mentioned a lot in the video, like constantly. They're like, when the deal's done, when the deal is concluded, what we're going to see with the deal. So to me, that says that the deal is like basically 99% guaranteed. I would say they're pretty confident, and this is their structure. So Activision Blizzard King, the purchase of it. So Game Pass, they want to accelerate Game Pass. They said that they are going to stuff as many Activision Blizzard titles that they can onto Game Pass as fast as they can as soon as the acquisition's done, which we expected. Same thing happened when they did the Bethesda deal. And then the Universal Store, so we've talked about that in the past too, if you watch my streams and videos, that as part of the first announcement of them buying Activision Blizzard is they're working on a more unified store system for Windows and everything like that. And then they're also wanting advertising. They want to expand across PC and mobile. Because one thing that I think a lot of people aren't really thinking about, and we're going to go to our next slide here to talk about that, is mobile gaming. So mobile is the largest segment in gaming, with nearly 95% of all players globally playing games on mobile. So Microsoft has really struggled with getting a grasp or a hold on the mobile market. So Activision Blizzard King is actually their kind of foothold in getting into the mobile market in a way that they haven't been able to in the past. So that's actually a big point to kind of think about, is that mobile chunk right there. So the other thing is accelerating growth. They want to become a bigger gaming presence as fast as they can, and you do that by acquiring companies. So they didn't talk about anything afterwards in regards to purchasing additional companies, but they did sort of, I guess you would say, kind of hint almost towards this being a stepping stone towards them getting different things. But they are really focused on the Activision Blizzard purchase as of now. Again, it was mentioned many times throughout the video. So they're pretty confident there. So more than 400 million monthly players active in 190 countries. So you get all these classic franchises. And another part of this, because one of my theories has been that they are going to, because they've got Smash.gg, which they just changed its name to, I believe it's Star.gg now. So they've got like a bracket system, and then they're going to own MLG. So you see there the enduring franchises, and then they mention Major League Gaming. My assumption is that they are going to fold all of their games into the esports wise, all of their esports competitions under the MLG bracket, and they specifically mention that there as an enduring and iconic franchise. So I think that's a key thing to think about, is that as a focus that they're doing. They also highlight specific franchises, Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Candy Crush. So these are, big things that they're thinking of right away from this acquisition. So this is going to be the most compelling and diverse lineups. The most compelling and diverse lineups are in Game Pass. So that's also the thing, is they want to get people there, and they've confirmed in this block of text there at the bottom that they now have over 25 million subscribers. So Game Pass is growing, and I would imagine is going to continue to grow as they continue to deliver additional titles. So for me, this kind of really showcases that, hey, this is really going through. They are confident of this acquisition going through, and they're not done chasing growth afterwards. So now we have some Game Pass facts. Game Pass as an accelerator in regards to gaming. So it's available in 46 countries across the world, and they recently expanded into the Southeast Asian market, which is great because, that's how they're going to get more people playing more games in different places in different parts of the world. I really see Game Pass and cloud gaming as their reach into different markets that their consoles never could. So after joining Game Pass, members play 30% more games than before. 40% of members play a game that they haven't tried prior to joining the service, both inside and outside the Xbox Game Pass library. More than 90% of members say they played a game they wouldn't have tried without Xbox Game Pass. And that is an impressive number, which is this way, kind of there. I guess it's better to point with this finger, but this little bullet point right there, absolutely fascinating. So then they have other details about all the games, the value of it, and again, more than 25 million people on Game Pass, which is a great number to see. I talked about PC gaming, we talked about accessibility, and now we move on to our final segment, which is quotes. So I've got these different quotes here that I kind of picked out. These were provided to me, and I was kind of like, okay, these are the picks that I like. So there was a lot of different chats from different people talking during the event, and then for whatever reason they had Todd Howard come in at the end, and he kind of like rambled on a bit about stuff, which is funny. He's like, we're working on Starfield, we're putting the finishing touches on it. So on the future of Xbox from Phil Spencer here, it's about creating the gaming platform for the next 20 years. We want to make sure we have an amazing community of players who can find great games from very diverse creators. From the biggest studios in the world to the individuals are telling their own stories, that those communities are safe and inclusive for anyone who wants to play. Phil Spencer, CEO, Microsoft Gaming. Obviously I mentioned that this was his talking point. That was basically like 15 minutes of him just chatting about inclusivity and accessibility. So then the next one we have is on the future of streaming and cloud. There's a lot of different quotes here, but yeah, once again, I picked the ones I specifically thought made the most sense to me. I'm pretty excited to see where the streaming thing goes. If you look at the music and if you look at the music and the music industry and how that changed with the advent of internet and streaming, and then you move to the movies and TV, when you think about gaming, it's the most bandwidth intensive, so it makes the most sense that it would go last. But it also represents the most opportunity if we can figure out how to create an experience that is simply available on the internet. And I think that's going to unlock a whole heck of a lot over the next 20 years. Jared West, Chief Marketing Officer at Microsoft Gaming. So they're very much banking on cloud gaming as a growing thing over the next 20 years, which is, again, lined up with my predictions in regards to eventually you're just going to stream all your gaming stuff. That's where they're focused. And then the final one, and again, there were so many quotes to pick from, and then Todd Howard here, he's talking about bringing worlds to life. It was a really long sort of rambling bit. I thought he was going to tease something really exciting, but he's just kind of like... And I think back to when we first started working with Microsoft at the time, over 20 years ago, and they said, we have this system called Xbox that we want to bring games to a whole new audience in a new way. And doing that with them back then with Morrowind and seeing where it's come in each generation, where they say, how do we do better? How do we open up to more people? How do we unlock the creativity that all of us here in the studios have? When we look forward to the next 20 years, those barriers to a player, from us to them, and players back to us, most of those barriers are gone. And that's Todd Howard, game director, executive producer, Bethesda Game Studios. So seriously, he just went on and on for like 5 minutes or so. It's great to have him out there. I just thought it was kind of funny where I was like, okay, cool, yeah, okay. And again, he said he's doing the finishing touches on Starfield. So obviously there's a bit more finishing touches in the fact that it got delayed and whatnot. But anyways, those are the details. I hope I kind of gave you some interesting, information along the way of what they're working towards. I think there is quite a lot that we sort of learned about today, but for some people it's probably not necessarily too thrilling because it's a bit more business or future oriented. It's mostly they're looking at, hey, 20 years down the line, where are we at? What are we doing? Where's Game Pass? How's it growing? Where's cloud gaming? Where's cloud gaming headed? And that's really all the details today.